Welcome back to the Thrive Over 45 podcast with me, your host, nutritionist Stacey Nicole Smith. And this is the space where we talk all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. Now, today we are talking about a highly requested topic, and that is how do you actually lose weight and keep it off? And it may not be what you think. So we're going to get into that today. So first, I think a big mistake that a lot of women make is waiting for motivation. Now, pretty much everyone can lose weight in the short term. The key is keeping it off because nobody wants to be stuck in this cycle of yo-yo dieting, losing and gaining the same 10, 20, 30 pounds over and over. So how do we actually lose weight and keep it off? And it's not from a simple hack, and it's not from a pill. There's a few things. So first and foremost, don't wait for that motivation, because what I see happen frequently, and I was one of those women, I lost and gained the same 50 pounds over and over for years. So I genuinely understand what's going on in that mindset. And one of the things when we wait for motivation, that's why a lot of women start new diets every Monday. The problem with this is knowing that we're going to start fresh on Monday and we really think we're going to do it this time and we really feel motivated, then on the weekend we say to ourselves, well, because I'm going to do this on Monday for real this time, I'm going to drink this all weekend because I'm not going to have it again for a long time. I'm going to eat all the things. I want to make sure I don't have anything left in my kitchen. So let me just eat it and get it out of the way. And I know I'm not going to have it for a long time. So we tend to then overdo it. Then we start that fresh diet on Monday. Sure enough, by the end of the day, Monday or by Tuesday, that motivation has worn off. And we just did all that damage on the weekend, and now we're back to square one. So don't wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. What will happen when you are able to experience true, lasting weight loss is when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change. And I'm going to share a little story with you about my own personal journey, what my breaking point was, and how I was finally able to just say enough is enough and make that change. So as I just mentioned, I was on every diet. I lost and gained the same 50 pounds for years and years. There is not a diet on this planet that you can tell me about that I haven't tried, including I did the master cleanse once for 10 days. I didn't eat for 10 days. 10 out of 10 do not recommend that. I remember walking down the street in Toronto and seeing somebody sitting in the window of a pizza place eating a piece of pizza. And I remember the smell of the pizza. I remember looking at this person who I didn't know with resentment, thinking, wow, they don't know how good they have it right now to be eating that pizza. Like, it's not a good mindset to be in. Anyway, inevitably, of course, I lost weight and then I gained it back and then some afterwards because I was so starving and deprived that I overdid it. And that's just part of the cycle that a lot of us get caught in, right? So back to my personal breaking point, and I would love to hear if this resonates with you at all. Always, I welcome comments. So let me know if this resonates, but here's how it went. I was supposed to go on a vacation with somebody, and I really wanted to go. As I was packing for this vacation, I was trying on the clothes in my closet to see what fit that I could take. Nothing fit. Nothing fit me. And I remember this moment of sitting on the floor in front of my closet after trying to put on a pair of pants. I still had them on, and I could not do the pants up. I had fat rolling out over the top of the pants and fat rolling out underneath the button where I was trying to button them up. And I don't know, something clicked in my brain that day. I canceled the vacation. And you may be thinking, okay, wow, that's a real breaking point. You must have gotten up and, gone to the gym and drank a green juice and changed your life in that moment. No, that's not what happened. What happened is I canceled the vacation. I felt very sorry for myself. I proceeded to stay inside the whole weekend. I ate glazed chocolate Timbits from Tim Hortons, soothing the pain and just feeling more and more sorry for myself. However, it was over the course of that weekend that I thought, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live like this. This is horrible. So what am I going to do? I didn't know if I had it in me to do another diet because I had been doing these strict diets on repeat. And I was just like, I don't know if I have it in me. And then just something changed. And I thought, okay, there's other women doing this, like long term. So how are they doing this and not starving? I need to figure this out. And so for me, I did something, I guess, drastic in another way, but I went back to school and I studied nutrition because I really, really, really needed to figure this out because I needed to live my life. I wanted everything in my closet to fit. I didn't want to miss out like I did on that weekend. Like I threw a big pity party that weekend and it just did something to me. I was like, I don't want to live like this. So I did it slowly and I was patient for the first time in my life and I figured it out. And the weight did come off, and it came off slowly, but in a way that worked while I was eating plenty of great foods. So for that weekend, it really shifted. The pain of staying the same was so great to me that I was willing to take the other pain of change over it. And change can be difficult for people. You get comfortable and you don't want to change, but it's knowing what to change. And that is what will end the frustration. When the women I talk to, and again, I was this woman, so I get it, they think that you need to do a complete 360 overhaul of your life for change. For most women, this is simply not the case. So I'm going to challenge you to take a look at your day right now. Take a look at today. Take a look at yesterday. A lot of women will say to me, or themselves, I've been so good all day. And then I get home from work and this happens and this happens. So usually when it comes to weight loss, it's not that you need to change everything. There's usually one or two things that trip most of us up. And I'll give you an example. For a lot of women, that is at the end of the workday. So you've been good all day, and then you get home and you're starving, you're ravenous. So you just grab whatever's available and you eat really quickly, or you had a really stressful day at work and you want to decompress and just sit back and, use food as comfort. This is really, really common. Now, another reason a lot of women are starving at the end of the day is because to them, being good is either eating hardly any calories all day, not having any carbs all day, or maybe you're not eating until noon. To most women, this is called being good, and that's what we have had ingrained in our minds. Now, I'm going to give you a quick pro tip here. One of the things you can do immediately is make sure you are eating enough at your meals. When we do this, we're less likely to overeat at the end of the day. So that's having breakfast within an hour of waking. That's having 30 grams of protein with that breakfast. That's having another 30 grams of protein with lunch. This is going to help to balance out your energy levels. It's going to help eliminate cravings. So take a bird's eye view of your day. Or if I was your friend and you said to me, Stacy, I want to lose 30 pounds. And I said, okay, let me follow you around for a day and see what you're doing. Honestly take a look, and would I, as your friend, seeing what you're doing for the entire day, would I think that what you're doing is in line with your goals of losing that 30 pounds? Like, a lot of it really just comes down to being honest with ourselves. Now, another area where we make a boo-boo in long-term weight loss success is thinking we have to change everything. So one thing will determine your results, and that is your daily habits. And it sounds kind of boring, but guess what? That is what will get you your results. So a lot of us hear of this newest, greatest thing. We hear of this pill, we hear of this fancy new diet. We think, I'm going to change that. But really what it comes down to is you just got to change something in your daily habits. And I know a lot of women don't want to change, but you have to. It is necessary. If you want a different result, you absolutely, without question, have to change something in your daily habits. The actual definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So something within your daily habits needs to change. Now, the key is finding out what is that thing that needs to change, especially as women with the hormonal changes of perimenopause and menopause. The things we used to do in our 20s and 30s to lose weight are no longer working. That's because our hormones are changing. Now, don't get discouraged. It just simply means a different strategy is required. The good news is it probably is not as strict as you think, and it probably involves eating more than you're currently eating if you're on a carb restricted or severe calorie restricted diet. So we do not want to wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. However, when you start and you start to lose the weight and you start to feel better, guess what? Strangely enough, that's when you get motivated because you're like, oh my gosh, I feel great. I look great. I want to keep going. So the key is you have to be ready for change. It comes down to you. A lot of this is mindset. And this, I know, sounds easier said than done because I was this woman, but really clicking in your mindset to not fall prey to another quick fix. They don't work. You will rebound. It will make it harder in the long term. So we really got to wrap our head around that. So don't wait for motivation. You have to be ready for change. And then just take an honest look. Really, an honest look. Pretend that you are your friend and you're looking at what you're doing every day. Where do you think in your day that you're kind of tripping up? Where are your triggers? And then just focus on those for now. Change what is tripping you up the most. Focus on that one area. And then you're going to start to lose the weight. Then you're going to start to feel a little better. Then you can focus on the next one. And then the key is, what do I focus on? And I just gave you a couple of key tips for women over 40. One of them is having 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking. Another one is having another 30 grams of protein at lunch. Like, having these things is going to help to balance your blood sugar and is going to help to diminish cravings. Again, it's not necessarily an entire overhaul of your life that is needed. It's just having the patience to do it the right way and being honest with yourself and taking a step back and saying, what do I need to change in my daily habits? I hope you find that helpful. I hope you do the assignment and take a look at and be honest with yourself. What do I need to change in my daily day? Where am I kind of tripping up throughout the day? And I would like to hear your comments. What resonated with you the most and what surprised you the most? If you like this episode, I ask that you follow the show to be notified when new episodes are released. I release stuff like this every week. And of course, if you liked it, and leave that comment. I'd like to hear what resonated with you the most. Hope that was helpful. Bye.